At first, the theme of the thing seemed to be J.A. Happ racking up strikeouts at a prancing pace, whiffing 5 of 6 batters through 2 innings, which would dovetail nicely with the lanky lefty likely making his final start as a Blue Jay at the Rogers Center, and a fine one with the trade deadline looming. Blue Jays starter J.A. Happ struck out 9 Orioles in 5 innings at the Rogers Center on Sunday. Carlos Osorio, Toronto Star: "The long goodbye is frankly getting a tad tiresome and we're running out of words for it." Then came a 36-pitch fifth, shades of Boston in Happ's last non-All-Star appearance, when the roof suddenly caved in en route to his 3rd consecutive loss, and a defensive play not made when Lourdes Gurriel Jr.'s wide throw to first pulled Justin Smoke off the bag. So now, and as the Sunday afternoon game against Baltimore unfolded with further defensive seizures, hesitancy on easy double play balls, a goofy collision between Gurriel and Aledmus Diaz, fellow Cuban, so it couldn't have been a communication issue. The developing motif was skewing toward Toronto pitchers having to make extra outs because of clumsiness behind them, which really has been a theme all season long. Article continued below, but don't count your theorems before they're hatched. A brace of 2-run jacks in the 8th, and the Jays had rallied from 4-1 down to 5-4 up, which is as it ended as Toronto swept their weekend series against the pitifully awful Orioles. W to John Axford, save to Tyler Clippard, who didn't blow it this time. We're still thinking, though, that manager John Gibbons should have let Happ face at least one batter in the 6th, allowing the veteran 2-time Jay to be saluted by the crowd as he left the field. Meanie Gibbons wasn't having any of that sentimental goop. Read more. Blue Jays sweep Orioles in style. There are plenty of reasons to root for Jays down the stretch. Blue Jays youth movement would look like this. Do I know that? He retorted to the probability that Happ will not pass this way again as a Jay in 2018. Article continued below. What happens if the next guy goes out there and hits a home run, or gets on base, reliever comes on and Happ sucks up the L in a loss? Then I'm the bad guy. I get blamed for not taking him out. Seriously, in the big picture, what would a loss have mattered? Guess there's no schmaltz in baseball. No crystal ball in any case in which Gibbons would have seen Joe Biagini almost immediately serving up a home run to Jonathan Scope. Baltimore nudging ahead 2-1, stretching their lead to 4-1 on the smash-up behind Axford and a play not made. Is there an echo in here? By Yanger Vasilarte when Mark Trumbo overran the bag at 3rd. The skipper's job, for as long as he continues to hold it, is to win games, even with Toronto 221 Hevs games behind American League leading Boston, 13 games out of a wild card. The season grinds on. I get what you're saying, Gibbons granted, softening up. I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. He's been pitching very well lately and doesn't have anything to show for it. Whatever is going to happen, I'm sure we'll find out in the next couple of weeks, before the July 31st deadline. After the Jays head out on the road, so I'll try to find another way to get him recognized. I'll say some good words for him on camera. In any event, 9 strikeouts for Happ over 5 innings, no walks while giving up just 1 run, joining Justin Verlander as the only pitchers this year with 4 games of 9+ Ks and 0 walks. Gather round reporters, as the 35-year-old once again fielded questions about his imminent future. I'm not letting myself go there, meaning the emotional crevice of a Rogers Center swan song. I'm just going to wait and see. It's a tough place to be mentally. I'm trying to just avoid those what-ifs right now. That hovers, however, is a weird thing. In some aspects I want the next week to go quick. And then I might look back and maybe not feel that way. In this outing, even in that 5th, Happ was pounding the zone, his changeup particularly effective, eliciting lots of swings and misses. But a lot of pitches expended, 102, in the process, and then he began falling behind batters. So another heavy workload for the bullpen, and the starting rotation still distorted for the next series, the Twins in town. Marco Estrada will throw a rehab game in Double-A New Hampshire on Monday, and Luis Santos probably gets the start here versus Minnesota. Gibbons, the next day, who knows, while Hap exited with his usual low-key attitude. The same could not be said for Baltimore starter Andrew Kashner, who, A, could clearly not believe it when Buck Showalter shuffled out with the hook and 2 out in the 6th, and B, glared knives at his manager before departing sullenly, jawing all the way to the dugout. The Baltimore pen collapsed, a 3-run lead disappearing post-haste in the 8th. Brad Brach, also rumored to be on the trade block, hung a slider that Randall Grichuk hammered 416 feet. The ball screamed off his bat at 108 meters, p.h. onto the facing of the third deck in left field for 2 runs, enlivening the crowd under a steamy closed dome. I felt like we were taking good at-bats and putting good swings on the ball, said Grichuk, who's been home run sparking in the past month. Lashed a double too. I definitely like where we're at coming off the break, with Devin Travis pinch running for Smoke, infield single. Baltimore bitten by the shift. Solarte greeted Tanner Scott by practically coming out of his cleats on a belt-high 3-1 fastball that ended up in Toronto's bullpen, his team-leading 17th home run capping the rally. Solarte also has figured into trade speculation. To be honest, without any disrespect, I don't pay attention to that. Doesn't want to go anywhere, he claims. Doesn't want to see Hap moved on either. When you get an all-star, you don't want to lose him. Rosie DiMano is a columnist based in Toronto covering sports and current affairs. Follow her on Twitter, @RoDiMano.